Yo, do people this Nate here?
This Kev.
Yo, we are Games Music Life. So we're back to review this big K.R.I.T project. K.R.I.T is here.
Yeah, man. King remembered in time.
Yeah, man. Wow. What can I start with here? So K.R.I.T, he's been a while. He's been, the last thing he put out was the little 2-song.
Forever is a mighty long time.
Yeah, how many tracks was it? I forget.
That was a double disc.
Was it double disc?
Yeah, it was double. I mean, for his full album.
Hold on, what was the one he put out when he had the couple tracks last year?
That little EP, I forget.
Yeah, that was an EP. Okay, that's
yeah.
what it was. So I didn't really give that too much hype because that was an EP. Maybe that's why I didn't.
Yeah.
So going into this one, very long album. Okay, 57 minutes worth of music, 19 songs, going together. What can I say bad about K.R.I.T? So I don't want to sound like I'm riding too hard here. Man. This is a very good album. Okay. Everything about the project that I love is I love when people sound like where they're from. Yeah. Like that's the first thing. And I also love that K.R.I.T's a rapper's rapper. Like he's the guy that a lot of people look at like, okay, if you don't know who K.R.I.T is, then maybe you need to brush up on some things. And that's the way I kind of look at people too. One of the two top people in my discography underground, I would say, that don't really get the hype is like K.R.I.T and Lupe. If you don't really like them, then I know you probably don't really know rap that well.
I hear you.
So K.R.I.T is one of those artists. So I go into it, the album is just funky, man. You know I love that boom bap, Kev. You know, I just love when cats come in and just rap and talk about some things that I can rock to. And K.R.I.T didn't hold anything back on this one. And this is an album I'm gonna be listening to for a very long time. The track Mississippi was probably the one that got me. It was the last track on the album. And he talked about a lot of stuff on that one. But the one that really, really got me was the one with J. Cole was pretty good. The one with Baby Rose, Every Time, was really, really dope too. But one thing I would take away from K.R.I.T is like when I listen to his projects is that it's soulful at times, but it also reminds you that he is from the South. Yeah. And you get that feeling whenever you listen to his albums. It's like you know where he's from. And I mean that's kind of where I get from. Is like I feel like I've been to Texas when I listen to his album, you know, just because of it. But only thing I wanted a Slim Thug feature. I wish it'd been Slim Thug on there. I got a couple. It looked like he was had a feature, not a feature. I'm sorry, a sample of Thug on a couple of tracks, but I don't think it was him. Mm-hmm. But what you think, bro?
All right. So if anybody hasn't already, go back, check our review of Forever is a Mighty Long Time, man. Lots of jewels, lots of gems dropped.
Absolutely.
And I love that album. That was 2017, so about a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I thought that K.R.I.T was really at an apex. He was at a peak. On this album, I had been hearing that he was going to be working with different producers. K.R.I.T typically produces his full albums.
Yeah, I was shocked at that too.
But on here, he got in the studio with some other producers to kind of maybe explore his sound on something different, give listeners a different kind of K.R.I.T to hear. Okay. And, I got no problem with that. But for me, it just don't hit the same.
Ooh.
It just don't hit the same. Now, for this album, I felt like K.R.I.T was, I don't want to say going more mainstream, but a lot of these songs have a lot more mainstream appeal. I mean, Addiction is a hit. Like, that's meant to be a hit. You know what I mean? Lil Wayne came in there, killed it. K.R.I.T killed it. Sweetie got in there, did her thing, you know. But like when I look through some of these features, I mean, you got a Cole feature.
Okay, is it because of the features you feel this way, or because of the production?
Not just because of the features. It's more so in the production. Okay. Like the production has so much glitz and glamour that I'm not used to hearing K.R.I.T with, and that's not a bad thing. Like don't think that an artist, kind of going out for commercial success or looking to widen their audience is ever a bad thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, a dope rapper is going to be a dope rapper.
True.
I mean,
true.
That's first and foremost.
That's a very scary line scary line to follow, though.
It is, and what made it for me was like I've been a long time big K.R.I.T fan. I've been listening to him for a long time, so I know how dope he is when he's doing what he does, sticks to his formula. So him going outside of that was a little different for me.
Okay,
doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, just a little different. Okay, it hit me a little different, but I will say I did feel like this album did showcase his star potential. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that I really want him to keep going that route, man. Yeah. I think that this would be a good introduction for people that maybe haven't already been hip to K.R.I.T to kind of get their ears open. Maybe go back and listen to some of the older stuff, see if you like that too. You will if you haven't already.
Yeah.
I
can understand. I can understand your point on that because you are. Like you said, you listen to a lot of the underground K.R.I.T beforehand, so you want to go more back underground.
Well, I mean, I just like the way that he sounds over his own production. Like, I think that the way I didn't think there was any need to deviate. Like I felt like as a producer, he was still getting stronger and stronger, and as a rapper, he had already been A1. So he had a winning formula already. And I get it breaking outside of your shell. That totally makes sense. Sometimes you got to see the world from a different lens, or try something different if you're going to get different results.
Okay.
And he's stuck. It's not like he sold out on this album or like he started rapping about corny stuff. He's rapping about the same thing he always been rapping about. He's snapping. He's doing him. Yeah. But the production for me was a little bit jarring. See, I think it wasn't what I wanted.
Because of his voice and because he does rap, no one can really emulate. He doesn't sound like anything.
Yeah.
So I think that the production, he can get by with it. I'm agreeing on you as far as we're used to that K.R.I.T production. It's a little bit more grimy, a little bit more unpolished on certain parts. So
I just think about like what he was able to do on like mixed messages from Forever's Mighty Long Time. It's like, yo, that tells me why he's so special. I mean, that beat is banging. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? He doing a little bit of singing on the hook. Like he was handling, carrying the load by himself.
Yeah.
And when he does that, man, I think he can definitely hit home runs. And not to say that this album wasn't a home run, but a little bit different from what I was expecting.
Yeah. Well, no, I agree with you. I think it was because when I wrote down my score, which I gave it an 80, I wrote it down initially after hearing it twice, and I'm like, it didn't want anything that really stood out to me that was like, it was him snapping, and I expect that from him.
Yeah.
But when it came down to just listening to it, it was like, did it really anything, like I said, just blow off the page for me? And I can see what you're saying. It did seem like it was reaching on, just the production was reaching a little bit more. Yeah. So I don't know if I really like it.
Just sounded a little bit more glitz, a little bit more gloss. You know what I'm saying? Had a little polished, shinier Pantene on there. Exactly.
Absolutely.
I was at an 84. Okay. I still enjoyed the project. Was it better than Forever's a Mighty Long Time? Not by a long shot, but still a very dope album.
Gotcha. And that shows one of the greats because you're comparing him against himself. So
yeah, exactly.
But yo, K.R.I.T fans, get in here. If you give it 100, you're absolutely right. Was I too high, too low? Was Kev too high, too low? Just leave it in the comments and we'll go from there. But I'm Nadir.
This Kev.
And yo, we are Games Music Life, man. Drink more water, people.
Peace.
Peace.